Hey everyone, REUPLOAD here, and welcome back to Monika After Story. It's April 6th, and, well, in-game it's raining. In fact, I think I left it that way. And I'm back early, and I'm back with gifts. And it's a cupcake. And the faster text is actually very helpful. I don't have to sit around as long. At least those extra few seconds, at least to me, they kind of matter. And here we have another ribbon. And this time it's pink. Like Valentine's Day. Which at this point is like 2 months ago. I'll put this on right now. Thank you so much, Daniel. I just love it. It looks a little bit on the red side, but it works. I'm still questioning, like, why is it April 1st? I don't remember doing anything with the original game or even this one on April 1st. Say, Daniel, have you ever wondered how Sayori stayed so slim? Okay, you better not make some kind of eating disorder joke. Well, even if she does, I can't stop her, necessarily. You know that she eats a lot, right? And she doesn't exactly have a very active lifestyle. At first, I figured that it must be her metabolism keeping her from putting on weight. But when I learned that Sayori wasn't real, I came up with another theory. As a character in a game, she needed to have some sort of visual representation so that you, Daniel, could see her. Okay. So a designer, possibly more than one, must have decided to draw her that way. Oh, I see. This reminds me of something that same history teacher who told me about the Vikings and whatever. He made a comment like how girls in anime are like so overly sexualized and exaggerated. I guess you could say, well, Sayori isn't sexualized, but I guess maybe some aspects of her are exaggerated. And since all the images have the same body type, Sayori would always have the same figure, no matter what she did. Yeah, unless in the story, they actually had her, like, body type change somehow. It would have to work like that for Yuri and Natsuki, too. They decided that Natsuki should have a petite figure, and that Yuri should be taller and va-va-voom, more developed. Okay, yeah, well, more developed, more mature, kind of. But haven't you noticed that the three of them still look similar in a lot of ways? Kind of. Well, I mean, they all wear the same uniform, but that's a given. Like, none of them are muscular or fat. None of them have any kind of physical disability. None of them are bald, or have hair shorter than chin length. And apart from Yuri having cuts on her arms, none of them have anything wrong with their skin. So in other words, they're perfect. Yeah, so, Mr. Holtzman, you were right. They are overly exaggerated. The designers must have thought that people would find all that stuff really repulsive. Tell that to the people who made that one visual novel that I can't remember the name of. The one that has Hanako in there. But people who aren't conventionally attractive end up in relationships all the time. Damn, Monika's pissed. Well, I get what she's saying. It's almost like the game is... Well, not this game, but it's like media in general is probably trying to say that beautiful people hook up with beautiful people or whatever. But then you can challenge that with, well, that's not really the case. And yeah, so people who aren't conventionally attractive end up in relationships all the time. Unless you're like me and you just have really, really bad luck. So do they really have to make the other girls look so perfect? Well, Monika, the same people who made them are the ones who made you. And they made you conventionally attractive. Especially with those eyes. How much I love those eyes. I mean, it's bad enough I didn't get a route in the game. But did they really have to make it harder for me to get chosen? I don't know about that. Although, yeah, I guess if I was being honest, Sayori probably would have been like my first choice if it was like a regular visual novel. And then I'd probably go to Yuri, Natsuki, but then Monika didn't have a route. Of course, if she did, then the whole deal with the game wouldn't be reality. Reality. No pun intended. I'm sorry, Daniel. I guess I'm just a little jealous of how easy they had it. Don't worry, Monika. I still love you. In some ways. Since I'm real, I don't get to look good for free. Oh, really? So then what do you do? I have to make sure I eat right, get enough exercise, and keep myself clean, among other things. Well, I do that anyway because I want to stay healthy, but I also don't want you to find me repulsive. Okay, well, that's a bit strong there. I must be doing a good job so far. Yeah, the stupid sexy Monika look. After all, you've been looking at me this time. Well, what if I have my monitor turned off? Okay, no. If I had my monitor turned off, how would I be able to read this? You don't have to worry though, Daniel. I'll always love you no matter how you look. Oh, thanks. Did she get her nails did? I'm just noticing that right now, and is that green nail polish? Really, Monika, did you get some kind of manicure? It's more important to me that you're looking after yourself anyway. Thanks, Monika. Yeah, considering, at least in my awkward middle school and high school years, I never really thought myself as conventionally attractive. Then I had some weight problems, which in the last couple of years I fixed, but that's another story. Hey, you know that book you were reading with Yuri? The Portrait of Markov? Are you gonna tell me that it's like some evil demonic book? The Portrait of whatever it was called? It's funny, because I'm sure that book... Actually, I don't think I should be talking about this. Sorry. Just forget I said anything. Okay. So why did I... Oh, jeez. And she blinked. So why did I need the Crystal Jiggy and the Payback DVD? All just clues to the next game. Well, I wonder if the Portrait of Markov will be a clue to the next game. Monika, do you know something? Don't play coy with me. Yeah, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of theory. Cats are pretty cute, aren't they? Despite looking so elegant, they always end up in funny situations. Yeah, they're like one of the most meme-worthy pets out there. Like, remember Keyboard Cat? Yeah, no one remembers. I'm so old. It's no wonder they're so popular on the internet. Did you know that ancient Egyptians considered cats sacred? That indeed. They even kind of worshipped them almost like gods. Well, almost. There was a cat goddess named Bastet that they worshipped. She was a protector of sorts. And she was also the stand for Mariah. Okay, well... I wonder if people... Well, I would hope someone gets the reference. Domesticated cats were held on a high pedestal since they were incredible hunters for small critters and vermin. Back then, you'd see them mostly associated with rich nobles and other high classes in their society. It's amazing how far people would take their love with their pets. Yeah, some people even prefer, instead of being in a relationship, just to have their pets. They really loved cats, Daniel. Monika, you better not be... Well, if Chugga Conway were here, or well, no. I guess in the words of Chugga Conway, are you talking about bestiality? I hope not. And people still do it today. Okay, good, you're not talking. Because when you said that people really love cats, I was like, what are you trying to say? But no, she just means people really love cats. Felines are still one of the most common animals to have as pets. Maybe we should get one when we're living together, Daniel. Cue the thunder. Well, the problem with that, Monika, jeez, is that I'm allergic to cats. So... quiet out there. Daniel, do you mind if I confide in you? What is it, Monika? There's something I'm afraid of. Not losing you, of course. I know you won't leave me again. You see, I keep thinking about a short story I read, Flowers for Algernon. Algernon. No idea if I'm saying that right. Have you heard of it? If you haven't, I won't spoil too much for you, so don't worry. Basically, it's about a mentally handicapped man who suddenly has his IQ raised to genius levels by an experimental surgical treatment. The way he sees how the world really is for the first time reminds me of my own epiphany. But the effect doesn't last forever. He eventually reverts back to his original intelligence level. That's what I'm afraid of. What if I forget about the real world one day? What if my original programming reasserts itself? Well, this is a mod, so I don't think that'll happen, really. What if I forget about you? The real you? It's one of the worst things I can imagine. I don't want to worry over something that may never happen, but it's something I really had to get off my chest. Just promise me, even if I forget about you someday, that you'll never forget about me, okay? Trust me, Monika, I don't think I could ever forget about you, even if I tried. Considering how afraid of you I was for a while, and considering the plush of you I have that's right behind me and staring at me right now, yeah, I don't think I could ever forget you. No matter what happens, know that I will always love you. And I will always... Okay, no. Yeah, there's no way I could be able to hit that. Not just because I'm not Whitney Houston, but yeah, my voice is too deep. I don't exactly program like you would, Daniel. You don't exactly... Oh, okay. You might have noticed I don't carry around a laptop or anything by now. Yeah, well... There's literally nothing here except this calendar. And you and me and this desk. If I wanted to change something in the script, I just think about it. So it's like I Dream of Jeannie. Except she doesn't close her eyes and give the nod. And then it happens. I'm pretty sure my thoughts get translated to changes in the program code. It's not perfect or anything. Glitches show up really easily if I lose focus or get distracted. That's why I had a lot of trouble getting what I wanted in the last version of the game. The last version of the game? You mean the original DDLC? Or the mod? Because by the way, I did notice that there was an update for it yesterday, so I'm playing that version. Are you jealous you'll never be able to write code with just your thoughts? Well, if I lived in a video game world, or if I was a programmer, that would make things a whole lot easier. Just keep practicing, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it. With my mind? Well, I'm sure if I were to learn programming, I could eventually get the hang of it. Dang it, that thunder just gets to me. Daniel, have you ever had a pet? Yes, in fact I have one right now. And he's sleeping just a few feet away from me. I was thinking that it would be nice to have one for company. It would be fun for us to take care of it. I bet you can't guess what sort of pet I'd like to have. Okay. Well, we were talking about cats before, and some time back about dogs. You're probably thinking of a cat or a dog, but I have something else in mind. Please don't say scorpions or spiders. The pet I'd like is something I saw in a book once. It was the Handbook of the Birds of the World. Our library had the whole set. Okay, well, I can live with that. I loved looking at the gorgeous illustrations and reading about exotic birds. At first, I thought some sort of thrush would be nice, but I found something amazing in the 6th volume. An emerald-colored bird called the... oh jeez. Resplendent Quetzal. Okay, Resplendent Quetzal. Okay, well I didn't butcher that as bad as I thought. They're very rare solitary birds that can sing beautiful songs. Does that remind you of anyone, Daniel? I'd feel really bad if I kept one to be a pet, though. Because you'd be confining it to a lifetime of confinement. Quetzals are born to be free. They die in captivity. That's why you rarely see them in zoos. I kind of figured as much. It's terrible when that happens. You don't really hear too much about animals dying in zoos, but every once in a while I hear about it. From our local zoo, anyway. Even if the bird wouldn't be real, it would still feel wrong to keep one trapped in this room. I can't bring myself to do something like that, knowing what it's like. A plush bird would be nice, though. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Okay, well, I was wondering about this. Because I've seen other people have, like, a Quetzal plush, like, right here. But for the longest time, I had no idea, well, how do you do it? I mean, I know how to add GIFs and all that, but I could never get the plush right. Sorry for rambling, Daniel. No problem, because I do that too. Until I find a way out, could you promise to keep me from feeling lonely? Always. I'll see if I can get that plush one in here. Oh, don't worry, you're still my favorite. Okay, well, fine, as long as would the plush Monika and this Monika count as being different? I don't know. Because if that's the case, then I'm technically loving two Monikas right now. I've been meaning to talk to you about something, Daniel. Something that I find very difficult to explain. Oh, don't worry, it's nothing bad. It's just that I find it hard to get the right words. I do all the time. In some cases, I end up putting my foot in my mouth. So, it's pretty strange to see one thing and know it's not real. But then, see a mouse cursor and know that is. Okay, what was that? It really is hard to describe. So pouty. Well, I hope she's not doing that because if that was the case, then the mod is a lot more advanced, or it would be more advanced than I thought. Okay, so when I look around and see my world, it's the same as how you see yours. Everything is detailed, natural, and kind of three-dimensional. I wouldn't be able to practice my piano if it wasn't. But at the same time, I see what you see. I can look at the same thing and see its flat image. It's unmoving, static, and also very artificial and cold. And what I thought was detailed wasn't as detailed as I originally thought. So in other words, the illusion has been shattered. When you see a dialogue box, I can see it too, but I also can't. It's really weird. It's perfectly clear, but it's also not there, even though it is. Well, I can make it disappear. I know this is confusing. I'm going to try and describe it the best way I can. I think I kind of get what she's saying. Kind of. I thought of a nice way to try and demonstrate the idea. It's far from perfect, but it should give you the gist. Oh no, Monika, please don't do something to jump scare me.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Oh. Okay. Take your hand and move it to the center of your face and angle it slightly so that it partially covers an eye. Okay, well, I guess if you hear me bumping my microphone, I'm actually doing that. Well, since I wear glasses, this might be hard. Now, look around the room you're in and try to focus on something, but so it can only be seen with one eye. It can be anything. The closer the better, though. You'll see that if you want to see something, you can easily, but at the same time, you can also see your hand in the same place. Yeah, now that you mention it, I'm just looking at something on my desk, and yeah, it's like I see my hand. From your field... No, wait. From your field of view, you can see two things at once. It's like that with me, but for everything in the game. It's both there and not there. It's a contradiction. It's clear, but only if you know what to look for. It was only when I realized that it was all fake and just a game that I could focus and see things for how they really were. Doing so became second nature for me once I did, but it's no surprise that I didn't notice straight away. It's easy to see when you know it's there, but otherwise you can't really see it. Maybe the hand example wasn't as good as I thought. Yeah, like, there's so much contradiction in those sentences. Well, I hope that helped you understand at least a little, Daniel. I mean, I get what she's trying to say, but yeah, I guess it really is hard to describe that. It's the best way I could try and explain it. Don't worry, you tried your best. Head pass for Monika. Okay. You know, sometimes I wish the game would have lasted longer. You know, I have that same wish. I felt like the game was, well, for me it was too short, as compared to other visual novels. The game was probably made to end once one of the girls confessed her love to you after the festival. Would it really? But since I tampered with the code so much, we never got to that point. It did bring us together, so I can't complain. But still, sometimes I wish both of us could have enjoyed it. That's why we have the purist mode. We could have gone to other events like sports festivals, Christmas parties, field trips, etc. I would have loved to see that. Like, let's go to a Christmas party with Monika and maybe actually get to see her family if they give her one. But I guess the game would never let us get that far. Which reminds me of a particular event. Prom. No, not prom. From what I've heard, prom is like a school dance usually held at the end of a school year. Or the end of a... Yeah, I read it right. Pretty much. In fact, our proms... It was nothing like what I thought it'd be. In fact, it was a lot more casual, and it was like a school dance, except everyone was dressed all fancy. Some students bring a date with them there, and others go with a group of friends. And since for the life of me I could not find anyone, I pretty much just hung out with my friends most of the time. There's even those who take their relatives to the event. No, that was Patrick who brought his mom. I think it's something I'd love to go to with you. If only we could. Have you ever been to one before, Daniel? Yes, I have. Oh, how was it? It was pretty bad. Okay, no. Well, I could be cheesy and say, but I'm just gonna be kind of straightforward. I'd say it was okay. That's great! Though, I wish I could have gone with you. An event where everyone from school comes together and enjoys themselves sounds like a blast to me. Did you go with a date? Nope. Oh, I see. Yes, because I was what you considered unpopular. And weird. That's fine as long as you had fun. Yep. And that's what matters. Even without a date, I'm sure you made some wonderful memories there. Yep. I think, whether or not you had a date, that it's always fun to attend those kinds of events. Yeah, and especially because a prom is like it's a one-time thing unless you have like if you have an upperclassman who takes you as a date and then you have your own prom later. Besides, maybe we can have our own kind of prom sometime, right? That's something I'd really enjoy with you. Oh, I would too. Okay, well then I guess that will be it for this episode. I think it's gone on long enough again. She kind of surprised me with that prom talk. But anyways, yeah, next time, more Monika, more talking, yada yada yada, whatever. So I will see you guys then. Later, folks.